Capricorns, or anybody with Capricorn placements, or whoever finds this reading and it resonates with them. I am Alsea. This is my new tarot channel, and I'm so excited. I've been reading tarot for about 20 years, but I've never done it online. It's always been in person, and so this is a new frontier for me, but I do love a lot of the YouTube tarot readers, and I figured it was about time, and honestly, it's been magical. I've heard from so many of you, personal reading shout outs already, and it's really nice again connecting with people and see what kind of stories come out of these cards. So, Capricorn, I'm glad you're here. My goal in all these readings is to show up authentically and honestly. And one of the reasons I say that is that in these general readings, this one's going to be the January 2024 reading for Capricorn and Capricorn placements. I am kind of reading the card just as they come out, and it could be a lot of different scenarios, but I will, after this video, be starting a love series because I think a lot of people are, you know, lost in relationships or need some guidance around their relationships, and I've been noticing that, and so I think I'm going to do monthlies and then have specific love series every month for each sign and see how that resonates with people. But I just love this. I'm using my oldest tarot decks that are still in use. This one, as I've said in other videos, it's not the prettiest, but it's told a lot of stories. A lot of stories. It's touched a lot of hands and been all over the world with me in my travels. So yeah, thanks for being here. I'm open to personal readings. Alseatarot@gmail.com. I'm doing all these new account specials. Eventually I'll have a website up and whatnot, but this is just the beginning. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Okay. What I want to start with, even though I haven't done this with the other signs yet, it's because you had such like a prominent, and maybe it's because Capricorns are just so, you know, they're the oldest earth sign and they're so assured in a lot of ways and stable, you know, as the earth energy wisens and ages. That's kind of what you get. And what came out on this really beautiful deck that my partner got for me years ago, and it reflects all the colors of the rainbow. So much magic. But one of the cards that popped out for your, because I've been doing a pre-shuffle reading, is the Four of Swords, and it came out very forcefully. And this is another, these are both Rider-Waite tarot decks, and I can walk through what that means as we go. But the Swords deck is all about strife and, you know, logic, things of the mind. It's the air suit. And the Four is kind of the most pensive of all of them. In the Rider-Waite deck, it's a guy laying, and maybe we'll see it, but it's a guy laying over a sword and three swords hung up on the wall like he's just been through something. And now he's either healing or contemplating it, figuring out how to learn from a hard situation. And then in the base, you got the Star, which is one of the most beautiful cards, major arcana, healing, divine guidance, some type of like, both these cards are about healing. So maybe you've been healing from something, but they both definitely wanted to pop out. Okay, Capricorn, here we go. Angels, spirit guide, ancestors, please show Capricorn what they need in this reading. What will grace serve Capricorn to find out? What is the story for Capricorn this month? Capricorn. I think one of my most favorite things about tarot is the way that it's an intuitive guide more than anything. Oh, wow. Look at that. Stories. The Magician, I haven't gotten this in any of the readings, but what a beautiful card. One of the earliest cards in the Rider-Waite Tarot. I believe it's right after the Fool, which is the beginning. Major Arcana and Minor Arcana. Minor Arcana is more day-to-day kind of Within our control acts, I kind of think of it depending on how you perceive the world. But the major arcana is almost faded in a way. And this is such a card of empowerment. And this could be you. I mean, I'm assuming it is. But it's the concept of we have everything we need to move forward into our journey, since it's an early card in the new journey of the major arcana. And the Rider-Waite Tarot, it's this idea he has all the tools, right? As above, so below. And then the infinity, ever going, ever changing, and yet the same. Concept of life, the cycles of life, all this new growth. So something, maybe this is just a message for you that you have all of the tools and the wisdom you need to move forward and either create the life that you dream of or get out of a situation that you've had to heal from. Because over it is this really interesting, I love this combination almost, because it's almost like a direct message, right, to someone that's supposed to be seeing this. The Nine of Swords is very much this card of disempowerment almost, but more so than like the Eight of Swords where they're trapped. This is almost perceived disempowerment, the way that this person is sitting in bed at night, and maybe you've been laying in bed a lot thinking at night, not being able to sleep or worrying. This is very much a card of worry. But all these swords on the wall are not actually touching this person, right? And they're comfy, they're doing okay. They have a bed to sleep in. It's more like either you're overthinking things, your mind is just racked, you just can't think your way out of a situation, or you've been through a lot and it's kind of gets you in the late hours of the night, because swords are all about the mind. But there's some message, like this is a very clear message of this might be what's happening, or this is what's beneath the surface, or maybe because you are one of the older signs, you hold it together for a lot of people, and then when you're alone, you feel scattered. But this is letting you know that you have all of the tools you need to move forward from this and to create whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, we are creators, and we're here to create whatever that looks like for you. And you have all of the power to do that and the ability because of whatever journeys you've been on prior to this. I love that message. Capricorn. These cards feel very sturdy right now, and that is very Capricorn energy, whether that's how people perceive you or just the energy that you kind of move through life with as an older earth sign. But a lot of times these cards are just flying all over the place. That's definitely the case in the Sagittarius reading, which is a fire sign, so that makes sense. Okay. Capricorn. One more. Okay, one more. Capricorn. Okay. Interesting. One thing I have noticed in these readings, like there's a lot of cards here in this deck, which sometimes you get into these readings and the same 2 or 3 keep popping out. And that has been the case. Very much so. Oh, look at the star again. Wow, of course. I just heard, pull that one off. Some kind of divine guidance to move forward. Because the 3 of Wands at the bottom of your deck, oh, sorry, I didn't finish my thought. A lot of these cards are just so consistent for all of the signs. And it's funny because we have all this New Year's energy, new beginnings, cutting things out, moving forward. And it's just been very prevalent for almost everybody, this underlying theme. And speaking of underlying themes, this is the river beneath your deck. Some people say the river beneath your reading. Or like the undertones, in a way you can think of it. It's beautiful energy. It's the 3 of Wands. Wands are the fire suit, all about passion and creativity. The 3 of Wands specifically comes after the 2 of Wands, which is a choice. And he has the whole world in his hands, similar to the Magician. And then he chooses with the 3 and looks out to this new horizon, this new day. So there's something about like either you've already made a choice or there's something about you're moving forward into a new day, it feels like. And maybe that's what I want to say the most of this underlying energy I'm getting so far, is this moving forward. Okay, so this is a traditional Celtic cross spread done not so traditionally because I've been doing this for a while and I've made it kind of my own. And I'm just going to read the cards kind of as I go, but this is your current circumstances. Wow, what interesting, almost juxtaposed energies, right? This is where you're at. Your suit, the Pentacles, Earth energy. Pentacles in the Minor Arcana of the Rider-Waite Tarot are very much about earthly matters, so it's very suiting. No pun intended. It's all about how you define yourself in the world, Pentacles, in terms of your job, your career, you know, very much earthly gains. And 4s are about stability, like the legs of a table. I've been describing it in other readings. 4s beget stability, especially after 3s. And there's like this prevalent 4 theme. So maybe you've regained some kind of stability after hardship, but in a suit like Earth energy, which is already more of a slow moving kind of energy, having a lot of stability can actually cause a lack of movement, because unless there is a flux of energy, you see this with money a lot. The way that you make money is you spend money, you invest it, you don't just keep and hold on to it really tightly, which is exactly what he's doing. So it's this concept of like, if you hold on too tightly to things, it actually stops the new from coming in. And that is definitely what you're seeing here. For whatever reason, he's holding on to it. I'm very much getting this energy from this guy in his face this time, because every time you look at these cards, you see something different. But I'm very much getting this energy of like, there's a reason he's in this place. Like maybe he's just been through something and now like you're just holding on to the stability you've earned. Maybe you came from poverty and you've earned a certain amount of money and you're holding on to it really tightly. Like there's a lot of symbolism in this card, but there's some message here about holding on too tightly to something. If it's relationships, it can often mean holding on to an idea, like when people attach themselves to ideas and they don't actually allow the truth in, or they don't allow the new in. They get obsessed with what was, you know, and that stops things from evolving as they naturally should, because the only constant in the natural world is change. And we need to be able to flow with that as part of nature that we are, in order to really have our abundance manifest. And what's interesting is having this as the crossing card, and some people say this is the bridge you're crossing. Challenge card is a way to put it, but I don't really like the connotation of that. But I think that this is fascinating combination, because the Knight of Wands, fire sign, couldn't be more opposite energies, right? Like even just look at it, the coloring and everything. All of this is stable. All of this is just wild. And so there's something about either this is a person that's entered your life, and because the page, knights, queens, and kings can be more representative of people energies, especially the king and queens. Knights in general are about action. Pages are ideas. Knights are the action to carry out the idea. And wands are about passion often. So it can be some type of like a message that's coming in of passion, or a need for change. It's like maybe this is you balancing these energies within you, where you've been holding on to something really tightly, but there's just this drive to just like infuse more passion into your life. Yeah, it can be a lot of things. This can be a player, you know, if it is relationships, a person that just moves really quickly and everything be damned, you know. I guess that's more of a negative connotation if you're thinking of it in terms of energies. And so maybe that's the reason that you're holding on so tightly to the stability you have, is there's this figure in your life that keeps coming back or just messes up your stability in some way. That could definitely be a thing. Let's see what's around you. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm getting feminine vibes, like I'm reading for feminine, and I don't mean any certain body, but people that are more feminine dominant, which if you're into the intuitive arts, you're probably tapped into your feminine energy in a really beautiful way that the world needs, in my opinion. But this is just such an interesting spread. Look at all this major arcana and these people, these figures. And why do I feel like these are you? I definitely feel like these are you. This is very much reading into that, what the last thing I was just saying about this, of maybe player energy or some kind of energy that disrupts your stability that you're tired of because, okay, let's just get into it. So as far as this goes into your future, this goes into your past, or as far as this goes into your past, this goes into your future is a better way to say it. This is kind of the underlying theme, and this is the overlying theme. And just look at this, what's going out, but has been a feature in your life, which is why some people say it's the reason for the reading, and what's coming in. I mean, these are counterparts. This is the king, the queen of the feminine, esoteric, spiritual realm, and this is the king of that spiritual. There's more structure. It's more like a priestly kind of, there's books and whatnot, whereas she's more in this like flowy, deep knowing mindset, but they are counterparts. And so there might be something with coupling here for sure. As I say that, I'm going to do separate love readings. All of a sudden it looks very coupley, but but even more than that, this feels like a journey that you've been on because of whatever you've experienced maybe in your dating life, or it could just be like the personal journey, because life is about growth, like soul growth. I truly believe that. And we invite in a lot of external circumstances to trigger the internal growth that we need so that we kind of level up in life. And so this could just be showing you your personal journey and the energies that have caused this journey, because whoever I'm reading for has been on a journey, right? Because your past is the Hermit. And again, look at this, the Four of Swords and the Star and the Hermit. It's just like this whole, you have somehow needed to turn inward because of things that have happened to you or things that you have lived out, your experiences. But he's just such a beautiful, even though I'm a Pisces, I very much identify with the Virgo Hermit energy, like this concept of deep found wisdom, usually because he's represented as an old man, so like he's been through it. Usually through some kind of trials and tribulations, he has turned inward. He's looking down very pensively. He has his eyes closed and he's letting his wisdom guide him, right, on these kind of cold shores. And so it's this concept of like, you are your own light. I want to say that. Wow, that's the first time I've said that describing the Hermit. Maybe you've had to become your own light in the world, or you've just really cultivated your inner light to guide you. And the Four of Swords energy is like, the only way that happens is from taking a bunch of time staring at walls, you know, and processing all of this information that has come at you and all these experiences, and really seeking out your role in them so that you can change the script for yourself. And that is a very empowered place to be. And this, the Magician, all these cards showing up are just cards of extreme empowerment. So whoever I'm reading for is kind of a badass, in my opinion, at least what's showing. Because the root of the reading is the High Priestess, and this is a Piscean card. And how beautiful. Oh my goodness, she is just like the queen of the things we cannot perceive. And just that statement alone just fills me with joy to say, because she has the moon at her feet, and it's almost like water flowing cloaks. And she sits there with such ease in this very confident way that is energetic in nature, you know? And a lot of people in our world really want to be super logic minded, and yet they feel empty when it comes to their spirituality. And I think the High Priestess is kind of the antidote to that. The Hierophant too, but the High Priestess is kind of about how this idea that she is steeped in this realm of the unknown, right? And so maybe you are this kind of person that is esoteric in nature, that's very highly intuitive. And if you are partaking in tarot and seeking out tarot, that would make sense, because people that value these kind of tools usually are more intuitive in nature. And so there's something about that, like either you have been diving more into this kind of unknown realm or this realm that you can't perceive, or you've been embracing these kind of witchier qualities to you, or just trying to get deeper in touch with yourself in a way that a lot of people never take the time or the journey to, because that's also what this is about. Is like, you have somehow taken more time to look inward and do the work, and that is going to manifest for you outwardly, because that's how everything works, right? So what's beautiful is this energy that's coming in. And again, the earth thing, right? And so it's like you're going from this place of almost stagnancy or really holding on to things, maybe because of this energy that's come at you a lot. Maybe like, for example, this would be you hold on to your earthly stability because in your like you just keep getting these very highly passionate people that don't actually want that, share that stability with you. That's a good example. But what's coming in is this like really self-assured energy that I think has come from this deep dive inward, or this heightened sense of awareness, or maybe you're on this journey right now. And what's in your future is just like this really content feeling in terms of your wealth, in terms of what you gained. And because you're an earth sign, it's just letting you know that like you're gonna feel very empowered because of whatever it is you've journeyed through. And that's just like such beautiful energy. And you see like all this gray. I noticed the colors a lot lately in these readings, but like all this gray, and the Four of Swords is also a very like gray, dark card. But the immediate future is this bright burst of sunshine. Like a new day. It's almost like all of this inward turning has manifested a new day outside of yourself, I want to say. And just look at this, all this, I'm really noticing like the grapes and whatnot and all the fruit happening. And yeah, this is, if this card feels very beautiful. Sometimes I get this card and it means all different things, but right now, like the placement and the energies leading into it, it feels like a burst of joy. And the overall idea, what's coming in, the overhanging theme, some people say, is the Hierophant. This can mean marriage, for sure, but it feels more like this is a personal journey, and maybe what it's letting you know is that you are going to invite in, because of this, it's so funny this is turning into such a love reading. Sorry for that, because you're also going to get another love reading. But it's almost like this personal journey that you've been on, where you figured out what's worth holding on to and keeping, and how to kind of either stay passionate despite your kind of earthly focus, or how to get this kind of figure out of your life, or not invite that in, I also want to say. And you're going to figure it out. And what's coming in is some type of like extreme spiritual awareness or learning, which is what kind of comes out of the Hermit, is this idea of just stability in terms of your spirituality and how you define yourself in the world, and understanding both the logical plane and this more esoteric kind of realm, and being able to unite them and feel really stable in that. And it can also mean some type of like partnership that's rooted in stability that's coming in, and that's really beautiful. Oh wow, oh my goodness. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Capricorn, I'm super glad that you're here and that I got to do this as my last reading of the signs, because this is the most beautiful reading. Wow, look at this. Okay, so first let's look at the colors. Do you notice this kind of gray, and then bursts of yellow, which yellow and orange is like the colors of joy and hunger, and just all of these things that are like excited, especially outwardly, whereas a lot of this is inward turning and the kind of like necessary, oh God, I just want to say the line that I said the other day, which is, the sun never feels better than the day after a storm. And that is this vibe right here, okay? And so you're just busting forward into life. The Chariot is all about moving forward, balance, victory, you know, this black and white of the light and the dark, and the merging them together, and so that you can maintain some type of stability and ride forward into your new horizon, right? Goodness, it's just being mirrored everywhere. This couldn't be more clear. There's some type of healing and introspection you've done, and now you are riding into a new day. That is just so clear. And there's going to be, this card is a card of victory. So there's going to be some kind of success that comes out of this. Clearly, I mean, look at this. Look at these. I'm going to get to that in a second. Wow. There's a lot of stability in this card for the fact that it's like represents a chariot riding fast into their victory. It is also a card of stability because they can't maintain the chariot balance without maintaining that stability. And so there's some kind of stability that you've gained maybe despite the energies that have come at you in life. And you're just, oh my goodness, it's just boss ass energy. How others see you, or how you define yourself in the world, your environment. All of these sections have different ways kind of to describe them. But the way I see this is, this has been kind of a focus in terms of how you show up in the world. And this is the stability card, right? This is the Four of Wands, and you going from the 3 to the 4, and it's this idea of happy home. Maybe you've been really focused on, like I said, maybe you've been really focused with these 4s, because there's 4s just like everywhere on your reading, the most 4s I've seen yet. Maybe you've been really focused on your stability, and as an earth sign, that makes sense. But maybe you've built a really beautiful house for yourself. You have a really cozy home, and that's been a focus amidst all of this kind of energy that hasn't served you or has caused you to go inward. But there's just this really beautiful stability that you've developed or you've been focused on, or maybe you have friends that really love your house or they're proud of the strides you've made in terms of your finances, and there's just been some kind of thing where you've been really focused on your stability or wanting that to be something that is a truth for you. Is like, yeah, maybe I haven't been doing great in relationships or love, or maybe I haven't figured out how to make my passions, integrate into this stability of this earthly realm, but you have somehow achieved some type of extreme happy home kind of vibes. I don't know. And this could just be within yourself. If your living situation isn't actually what I'm discussing, this could just be the stability that's represented everywhere, and that's been a focus for you. Your hopes and fears, and how funny, look at all of these, just like this earth energy is super prevalent. So maybe you've just been really in that mindset, which makes sense because we were just in Capricorn season, right? And that's when you're at your height of Capricorn energy. So hopes and fears are an interesting thing where what we want the most, we're also afraid of. And this is the 10 of Pentacles, which is all of this Pentacles energy coming to fruition in the sense of building an estate. But what I want to say is that this specifically, I'm really noticing the family and the patriarch kind of looking at his daughters or granddaughters, and these dogs looking at him, it's like this very comfortable. And then the next generation, I've never even noticed that kid before. Maybe you want a family, but you're also afraid of it because of this energy that's often come your way. When you've sought that kind of, it's like your biggest dream is to have this beautiful family that goes for generations and feels really stable. But you're also kind of afraid of it because of what it's brought into your life and the lessons it's caused you to learn about the world is what, yeah. But I mean, I don't think you have to be afraid of it. I don't think you have to be afraid of what you want, because only when we're I want to say this to you for sure, who I'm reading for, only when we are super sure of what it is we want can the universe meet us, because we won't accept any less. And so maybe you look back on this person that invited in hard things or hard lessons, but you can't judge. One, you have to be easier on yourself if you look back in like this looking back kind of vibe. If you look back and are critical on that person that allowed those things in your life, because once you take that role of empowerment that allows you to change your future every day with every choice, you also have to kind of look at that person and realize what you allowed. And that's a really hard journey for a lot of people. But I think what I want to say to you is that, like, you can't judge the person of your past with what you know now, because you know what you know now because of what that person went through. And so be grateful for them, right? I think that message probably for someone that needs to hear it, like, kind of be in acceptance of all that was, because it's brought you to this place where now you don't have to be afraid of what it is you want, because you're so clear and you're so aware, and you don't really need anyone. It definitely feels like I'm talking to someone that doesn't need other people for their stability, for sure. And that's how you can invite in a person or a situation that meets you at that energy, right? And I mean, just look at this outcome. Goodness gracious. The Queen of Pentacles, which is just the heightened version of this Nine of Pentacles, feminine. So whether you are a masculine or feminine, if you are a masculine, this is what you're inviting in. And, you know, it's this very earthy, stable person that has earned their wealth and that you can be a full partner for because of what you've earned for yourself. You guys have matching energies, right? Or this can be you who has just completely invited in this version of yourself that's so stable and strong and has grown so much in your life in this beautiful day. And there's just so much journeying to do. Like, I want to put these next to each other because it's something about like moving from this place of like, okay, I've learned all of this, what's next? And then this beautiful, abundant place that you're sitting in, like this status that is very earned. And look at this, with this guy and her, and they're both sitting kind of shrouded in all of the abundance they've grown, and they get to share it. Wow. This is a gorgeous reading. I don't even want to say more because it's just so clear cut. It's just, it's victorious. It's moving forward in empowerment. It's creating the life that you deserve and not settling for any less, which is why the universe will meet you there. Wow. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do, because it's just so beautiful. I wish this was my reading, but I have no Capricorn in my chart. So thank you for allowing me this reading with you. I've been pulling a Wisdom of the Oracle card, one of my older decks, as a clarifier for the end of the reading. Wow. Okay. Capricorn. Capricorn. Oh, nice. Message in a bottle. Maybe a message is coming your way. Oh, and what I want to say is that messages in a bottle, I've never said this before. There's something about how a message in a bottle, the whole concept of it is that, oh my goodness, I've never thought about this, but it's true. You throw a message that needs to be received by someone and you don't even necessarily know who's going to find it, right? But you just write a determined message, throw it into the ocean, which largely represents, the ocean represents so many things, our emotions, just like the sea of chaos, like Mother Nature at her most beautiful and powerful. But you throw a message in there and then throw it into the sea, and it's going to take a while, but it's the message you sent to the universe, and it's coming back. Someone's going to find it, and they're going to read that message, and that will be that person. And there's just something about that, this like, wow, I've never gotten that from this. But like the best things take time, but it's like sending your message out into the universe about what it is you want. And this place of empowerment where you don't need anything and it just creates a space vacuum for the right thing, and you'll know it when you see it. But you got the Go the Distance card. 47, maybe 47 means something to you. Maybe you are 47. It's a beautiful number. Okay, this is towards the end of the book. Oh, that's so funny. I was just saying this about takes time. Takes time. This is a journey. And there's so much beauty in the journey too, right? Like we're obsessed with destinations. Maybe it's because of our short lifespans, but we're obsessed with destinations. And there's something about the journey here. And the whole part of the journey is what makes the destination that much sweeter. Go the distance. Endurance, strength, the long haul. To bring your dream to life, you must think long term and pay no attention to the fluctuations in the current of your experience. Joy and disappointment commingle with opportunities, so there's no need to fear the occasional obstacle. Life is not a sprint. This card is a reminder that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you all the way. Remain true to yourself. Your authenticity alone will keep you in alignment with the energy of miracles. What is yours will never be withheld from you. Remember that. Oh my goodness. And the relationship message, which I'm going to read for all the relationship spreads, so tune back in. It basically says you're either calling it, you're either in or calling in the harmonious relationship of your dreams that can stand the test of time. Anyway, pure magic. But this is so interesting. And I started the reading, oh God, life is crazy, right? I started the reading talking about how I want to show up authentically for you. And I haven't said that in any other reading. But for whatever reason, I was like, I want to say that. There's something about like you just showing up as you are, and that person is going to meet you there, especially if you're in this energy of like not needing anyone or anything, because you are your own stability. You are your own light. You've made yourself your own light. And then you just get to show up authentically. And that's how you're going to find your person. Oh my goodness. The Shel Silverstein poem comes to mind before I go, because I could just talk forever. I don't know if you've heard it, and I'm going to butcher the actual thing because I read it when I was a child, so it's strange this is even coming to me. But there's the blue boy, or is it the green boy and the green girl in a world of blue people? And it's like they're both ashamed of the fact, basically, that they are green when everyone else is blue. So they paint themselves blue. They paint themselves blue so that they fit in. Meanwhile, they're standing next to each other as blue people, and they have no idea that they're both green, and they both love each other so fully and be perfect for each other because they are each other's matches. But because they're trying so hard to fit into the norm or not show up authentically, they'll never see each other. And it's like once they take off their paint, all of a sudden they realize they aren't alone in the world. I hope that this resonates for someone. This is a beautiful reading, and it would be a shame not to. So let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'm Alsea. Reach out to me, alseatarot@gmail.com. And I hope to see you for the next reading. Okay, thanks, Capricorn.